Hello students, I welcome all of you in our next session on hydraulic machinery. In the previous sessions, we have started our first unit, that is properties of fluid. In the previous sessions, we have seen or we have learned some properties like density, specific weight, specific gravity, and specific volume, and we have seen the definitions, we have seen the formulas of that properties, and we have seen the interrelationship between these properties. Okay, we have seen some practical numericals also on that properties. Now in this session we will continue with our next property, that is viscosity. That is also one of the most important property. That viscosity, it is also called as fluid friction. It is also called as fluid friction. In applied mechanics we have seen the friction, right? But that friction was related to the solid. It is quite similar. Here we have named that property, that is viscosity. Okay, so it is also related to the fluid friction. It is related to the fluid friction. Okay, so how viscosity is defined? As I have told, the viscosity is related to the fluid friction. So friction what is meant by friction? Friction is nothing but the resistance. Friction is nothing but the resistance. Okay, so what is viscosity? So viscosity is defined as the property of fluid, the property of fluid which offers resistance, which offers resistance to the movement of one layer of fluid, to the movement of one layer of fluid over another adjacent layer of fluid, or another adjacent layer of fluid. That is called as viscosity. In simple language, viscosity is defined as resistance to flow. Resistance to flow. Okay, so how this uh, resistance comes in the picture, how this resistance created, right? So we will, for that we will take one simple example. I will explain you how this viscosity concepts comes in the picture. We will consider a example of river, example of river. Okay, so consider this is the river bed. This is the river bed, means bottom layer of the bottom layer of the river. Okay, so then we will divide the whole flow of the river into the number of layers. So this is second layer, this is third layer, this is fourth layer, this is fifth layer, and this is the, we will consider this is topmost layer. This is the, we will consider this is topmost layer. So so this is river bed. So this is river bed, this is adjust, this is first layer, this is second, third, fourth, fifth, and this is free surface of the river. So last we will topmost surface, or we can say free surface of the river. So how this resistance creates? See, as the river bed that is stationary, okay, the river surface is stationary. So whatever adjacent layer here, whatever the adjacent layer will be there of the fluid, that will be stationary, because of river bed is stationary. So velocity of this layer will be, velocity of this layer will be 0. Velocity we will represent it by u. So velocity of adjacent layer will be 0. So as we will move towards the free surface, as we will move towards the free surface, the velocity will be goes on increasing. The velocity of this layer, first layer, will be more than the velocity of river bed. Okay, then velocity of second layer will be the more than velocity of first layer. Velocity of third layer is also greater than velocity of second layer. Fourth layer velocity will be also greater than third layer. Fifth layer velocity also greater than the fourth layer. So similar way, if we move to the topmost layer, move towards the topmost layer, here the velocity will be maximum. Here the velocity will be maximum. So as uh, we have seen, the velocity from the river bed to the topmost layer, from the river bed layer to the topmost layer, velocity going on increasing, velocity going on increasing. So there will be relative motion, there will be relative motion, because the if we consider the two adjacent layers, then velocity of upper layer is higher and velocity of lower layer is lower than the upper surface, lower than the upper surface. So there will be there will be relative motion between these two layers, and because of which there will be friction. As there will be relative motion, there will be friction. There will be, as there will be relative motions, there will be friction between every two layers. There will be friction between every two layers, and that friction will cause resistance. That friction will cause resistance to the flow. Resistance to the flow. As the velocity of lower level is less than the velocity of higher level, this lower level will create resistance to the upper layer. Then next, the layer will be create resistance to the its upper layer, right? So that resistance will be pass on, right? So that property of fluid, that property resistance, or that property of fluid is called as viscosity. So once again I am going to repeat the definition, that is, viscosity is defined as the property of fluid. Viscosity is defined as the property of fluid which offers resistance to the movement of one layer of fluid over another adjacent layer of fluid, or another adjacent layer of fluid, right? So viscosity is defined as resistance to flow. In simple language, we can define viscosity as resistance to flow, right? Okay, so now here we will see another one more example to see the velocity profile. So already I have drawn here velocity profile. So see, as the velocity is going on increasing, so velocity profile will be like this. Velocity profile will be like, velocity profile will be like this. That is explained here. So when two layers of a fluid, we have if we consider two layers of a fluid at a distance of dy, at a distance of, so this is first layer and this is second layer. So if we consider two layers of the fluid at a distance of, dy apart, move one over the other at different velocities, say u and du. So lower surface ची velocity काय असणार आहे, कमी असणार आहे. So we will consider the velocity of this layer, second layer will be u, and we will consider the velocity of top layer, that is u plus du, u plus du. Okay, because the velocity of upper layer will be more than the velocity of lower layer. Okay, so the viscosity together with the relative velocity, viscosity together with the relative velocity, because u is the velocity of this layer and u plus du is the velocity of upper layer. So there is relative velocity, there is relative velocity. So there will be friction and there will be resistance, right? So viscosity together with relative velocity causes a shear stress, causes a shear stress acting between the fluid layers, acting between the fluid layers, right? Understand? So because of this viscosity as well as because of this relative velocity, a shear stress comes into the picture. Shear stress, this shear stress comes into the picture, that is shear stress occurs between these two layers, between these two layers. Okay, shear, the top layer causes a shear stress on the adjacent lower layer, while the lower layer causes a shear stress on the adjacent top layer. Lower layer causes a shear stress on the adjacent top layer. So top layer will causes the shear stress on the lower layer, and lower layer will cause the shear stress on the upper layer. Okay, right? So this shear stress, now how we will define this shear stress? See, this shear stress is proportional to the rate of change of velocity. Rate of change of velocity, we have numerically we have mentioned here. This shear stress is proportional to the rate of change of velocity with respect to y. With respect to y. So it is denoted by symbol tau. We know the symbol for shear stress. We have learned in the theory of engineering design. Shear stress is defined by symbol tau, right? It is defined by symbol tau. So shear stress is proportional to the rate of change of velocity with respect to distance, vertical distance from the bottom layer with respect to y. So here we have mentioned shear stress is proportional to the du by dy. Shear stress is proportional to the du by dy. It is directly proportional to the du by dy. So that proportionality constant we will take as a viscosity. That proportionality constant we will take as a viscosity. Here in this definition we have mentioned, that is important, the viscosity together with relative velocity causes shear stress. The viscosity together with relative velocity causes the shear stress. So this is what du is relative velocity, and the proportionality constant, that proportionality constant is called as mu. That is called as mu, or that is nothing but the viscosity, or that is nothing but the coefficient of viscosity, or it is called as only viscosity, or it is called as dynamic viscosity. It is called as dynamic viscosity. So here here it is mentioned where mu is the constant of proportionality, where mu is the constant of proportionality and is known as coefficient of dynamic viscosity, or it is only called as viscosity, right? Du by dy represents the rate of shear strain, or rate of shear deformations over the velocity gradient. This du by dy, it is also called as velocity gradient. It is also called as velocity gradient, means rate of change of velocity per unit distance. Per unit distance. This is called as velocity gradient. Okay, so from equation, what is velocity viscosity actually? From this equation, from this equation, tau is proportional to du by dy. Proportionality constant is mu. That mu is called as viscosity. That mu is called as coefficient of viscosity, or it only viscosity, or dynamic viscosity. Okay, so from this problem, what will be the formula for viscosity? So this will be, we have kept the viscosity to one side, we have taken this velocity gradient to the other side, to the denominator of shear stress. So viscosity will be equal to shear stress divided by velocity gradient. Viscosity is defined as, so here we have, from the numerical we have defined as shear stress required to produce unit rate of shear strain. Unit rate of shear strain. Okay, so mu will be, or it is defined by mu. So mu will be equal to shear stress upon du by dy, right? So that is viscosity. It is also called as dynamic viscosity. It is also called as viscosity. Understand? Now we will see the unit of viscosity. We will see the unit of viscosity. So here so what is viscosity? It is shear shear stress on numerator, and velocity gradient on the denominator. So velocity gradient is what? Change of velocity and change of distance. Change of velocity and change of distance. So I have mentioned here this. So what is shear stress? Shear stress is equal to force per unit area. Stress, force per unit area. And what is change of velocity? Velocity, that is meter per second, that is length per unit time. And what is change of distance? Change of distance, that is again length. So I have taken it on the numerator, sorry, denominator. I have taken it at the denominator. So 1 upon length, that will be the unit. So here, so this length will get cancelled. Length will get cancelled. We will get force per unit area. Area's unit काय आहे? That is length square. Area's unit काय? Length square, meter square. So we have taken here force per unit length square. Force per unit length square. This length get cancelled. At the denominator only 1 upon time will remain. 1 upon time that will be remain, right? So what will be the unit? Force multiplied by this time which is at denominator, that will be go to the numerator. So here it will come force into time, and that length square will be go to the denominator. So we will get the unit from this force into time divided by length square. So force is represented in Newton, time is represented in second, and length is represented in meter in case of SI unit. In case of SI unit, force is represented in Newton, time is represented by second, length is represented by meter square. So our unit for viscosity will be Newton second per meter square. Newton second per meter square. Okay, so that will be SI unit. But in case of viscosity, it's MKS unit. But in case of viscosity, its CGS unit is very famous. CGS unit is famous. So how we will define CGS unit? How we will define its CGS units? So force in CGS unit is represented by dyne, right? Dyne. Time is represented in second. So dyne into second divided by length is represented by centimeter square. Dyne into second into centimeter square. That is its CGS unit. And that is very famous. So this unit is called as poise. This unit, CGS unit, also called as poise. Right? So what is the unit of viscosity? Unit of viscosity will be Newton second per meter square in SI. That is important. And also unit of CGS is also important, dyne second per centimeter square, and it is also called as poise. Right? So before moving to the next definition, next property, that is kinematic viscosity, we will see the relation between CGS unit and SI unit, right? So CGS unit and SI unit. So here we can relate. So 1 Newton second per meter square, 1 Newton second per meter square is equal to 10 times of poise. Is equal to 10 times of poise. Is equal to 10 times of poise. So 10 times of poise. So 1 poise is equal to what? 1 upon 10. 1 upon 10 Newton second per meter square. Newton second per meter square, or you can say 1 poise is equal to 10 raised to minus 1. 10 raised to minus 1 Newton second per meter square. Do you understand the relation between CGS unit and SI unit? So 1 poise is equal to 1 upon 10. If there is 2 poise, then it will be 2 upon 10.2. Right? So that will be the conversion between CGS and SI unit. CGS and SI unit. Right? So this is overall about viscosity. Now our most important second property is kinematic viscosity. Next important property is kinematic viscosity. So kinematic viscosity, so whatever the viscosity we have learned, it is also called as dynamic viscosity. So we have seen dynamic viscosity, right? So now we will see the kinematic viscosity. So it is defined as, kinematic viscosity is defined as the ratio between dynamic viscosity and density of fluid. It is the ratio of dynamic viscosity and density. Dynamic viscosity and density of fluid. it is represented by nu. It is represented by nu, nu, and previous viscosity is represented by mu. Viscosity is represented by mu, and kinematic viscosity is represented by nu. Okay, so mathematically we will represent viscosity. Kinematic viscosity is defined as viscosity per unit density. Viscosity per unit density. So mu upon rho. Mu upon rho. Right. Now if we convert this unit, we will see unit of this unit is meter square per second square. SI unit of kinematic viscosity is meter square per second square. Okay, now how this unit, so that unit conversion you can do at as a homework. Okay, how we will, I will give the hint only how this unit conversion has been done. So that unit of mu is what? Nothing but the Newton second per meter square. Newton second per meter square, right? And unit of density is nothing but the kg per meter cube. Kg per meter cube. So this Newton is also represented in kg. How? So that Newton is equal to what? Kg into meter per second square. Kg into meter per second square, right? So keep that Newton force, that is equal to kg meter per second square. So and do the calculation, you will get the unit, that is meter square per second. You will get the unit, that is meter square per second. So this is SI unit. This is SI unit, and this is SI unit. And if we represent this into CGS, that is, that unit will be centimeter square per unit second. So that is the unit of kinematic viscosity. Once again I am going to repeat the definition, that is kinematic viscosity is defined as a ratio of dynamic viscosity to the density. Dynamic viscosity to the density. Okay. Now we will see the next, that is Newton's law of viscosity. We will see Newton's law of viscosity. So Newton's law of viscosity already we have seen during the discussion of viscosity, that is shear stress on fluid element layer. Shear stress on fluid element layer is directly proportional to the rate of shear strain. Directly proportional to the rate of shear strain. That we will already we have seen during the discussion of viscosity, that is shear stress is directly proportional to the rate of shear strain or velocity gradient. Directly proportional to the velocity gradient, and our proportionality constant is coefficient of viscosity, or simply viscosity, right? So that is Newton's law of viscosity, that is shear stress is directly proportional to the velocity gradient, or you can say rate of shear strain, directly proportional to the rate of shear strain. Okay, so the in case of fluids, the fluids which obeys this equation, the fluids which obeys this relation or these laws, Newton's law, that fluids are called as Newtonian fluids, and which do not obey this equation or do not obey these laws, that fluids are called as non-Newtonian fluid. That fluids are called as non-Newtonian fluid, right? So now we will see the variation of viscosity with temperature, or effect of temperature on viscosity. Effect of temperature on viscosity, right? So temperature affects the is temperature affects on viscosity or not? What do you think? Can temperature affects on viscosity? Yes, temperature affects the viscosity. Temperature affects the viscosity. How we can say the viscosity of see here. So fluids we have categorized into two groups, that is in first is liquid and second is gases. In case of liquid and in gases, so temperature effect of temperature in case of liquid is different, and in case of gases is different. So we will see one by one. The viscosity of fluid, the viscosity of liquid decreases. The viscosity of liquid decreases with increase of temperature, with increase of temperature, with increase of temperature, while the viscosity of gases increases, viscosity of gases increases with increase of temperature. Viscosity of liquids what decreases, viscosity of liquid decreases as the temperature of liquids increases, and viscosity of gases increases with increase of temperature, right? So this is due to reason that viscous force in a fluid are due to cohesive force. Whatever the viscous force or frictional force is in case of liquids is because of cohesive forces and molecular momentum transfer. Is because of cohesive forces and molecular momentum transfer, right? So molecular momentum transfer. So in case of liquids, the cohesive force means what? The attraction between the similar molecules. Attraction between the similar molecules. So in case of liquids, the cohesive force is predominant. Cohesive force is predominant in case of liquid. So because of that, in liquid, as the temperature increases, viscosity decreases. Viscosity decreases because its cohesive force also decreases. So viscosity decreases, right? So and in case of cohesive force decreases with the result of decreasing viscosity, right? So because of increasing temperature in case of liquids, the viscosity decreases, okay? So but in case of gases, cohesive forces are small, forces are small, and molecular momentum transfer are predominant. Molecular momentum transfers are predominant. So with the increase in temperature, molecular momentum transfer increases, molecular momentum transfer increases, hence viscosity increases. So in case of gases, viscosity increases, right? So in case of liquid, as temperature increases, viscosity decreases, and in case of gases, as temperature increases, viscosity also increases, right? In case of liquid, the viscosity or viscous force are causes because of cohesive forces, and cohesive forces are predominant. And in case of gases, viscous forces are created because of molecular momentum transfer, and these are predominant. Okay, so in gases, as the temperature increases, viscosity also increases. So that is the effect of temperature on viscosity, right? So okay, so now we will move on our next property, that is compressibility and bulk modulus. Compressibility and bulk modulus. All of we are aware about the bulk modulus. All of we are aware about the bulk modulus because we have uh, gone through this concept in your strength of material, or you can say theory of engineering design. You will learn about the bulk modulus. So once again, I will repeat it here. So what is compressibility? So compressibility is the reciprocal of bulk modulus. Reciprocal of bulk modulus. Reciprocal of bulk modulus means compressibility is 1 upon bulk modulus. Reciprocal of bulk modulus means what? 1 upon bulk modulus. But what is bulk modulus? So bulk modulus is represented by K. Bulk modulus is represented by K, and which is defined as the ratio of compressive stress to the volumetric strain. Compressive stress to the volumetric strain, that is bulk modulus. So first of all, we will see the bulk modulus, then we will see the compressibility. So what is compressibility? Compressibility is the reciprocal of bulk modulus. And what is bulk modulus? Bulk modulus is the ratio of compressive stress to the volumetric strain, that we have already learned in the theory of engineering design, right? So again, I am going to repeat it here. So consider one cylinder, which encloses the volume of gases, that is V, and the pressure of gas, that is P, right? Now see here, we have considered this example, we have considered this example of cylinder. Okay, that cylinder fitted with piston, right? And the V is the volume of gas enclosed in the cylinder, P is the pressure of gas when the volume is V. P is the pressure of gas when the volume is P. So here it is totally gas is there in the cylinder, right? So let the pressure, now what we will do, we have to take compressive stresses and we have to take volumetric strain. So we will decrease the volume by increasing the pressure. So we will increase the pressure to, we will increase the pressure to P plus dP, means we will increase the pressure by, increase the pressure by dP, right? So what will happen, the volume of gas will be decreases from V to minus dV. We will consider this, what is dV and dP, a small change of pressure. We have taken it is as a dP and we have taken small change of volume, that is dV. So when we will increase this pressure by dP, what will happen, this one, originally piston is at this position, so piston will move from, after increasing pressure, piston will move from this position to this position, right? So what will happen, whatever the volume V of gases will be decreased by volume dV, so what will happen, volume of gases will be decreased from V to V minus dV, So increase of pressure is what, dP, and decrease in volume is what, dV. So what will be the volumetric strain? We know what is meant by strain. Strain is nothing but the change in volume per unit original volume. So what is change in volume? Change in volume is dV. And what is V? Original volume. Original volume was of V. So what is our volumetric strain? dV upon V. But here it is negative sign. Why there is negative sign? So as pressure is increased, the volume of gases is decreased. So we have taken the volumetric strain in negative sign. Right? So volumetric strain is equal to minus dV by V. Now we will see the bulk modulus. So what is bulk modulus? Already we have seen the compressive stress per unit volumetric strain. So compressive stress is nothing but the pressure, increase of pressure. Compressive stress is nothing but the increase of pressure. So increase of pressure, how much we have pressure increase, that is dP, and how much is the volumetric strain, that is minus dV upon V. So we will get the formula for bulk modulus, that is dP upon dV into V negative minus dP upon dV into V. So that is bulk modulus. And what is compressibility? So compressibility is given by reciprocal of bulk modulus. So that is 1 upon K. Right? So this is compressibility and bulk modulus. Right? So up to this point we have covered the viscosity, kinematic viscosity, and compressibility and bulk modulus. So that 4 properties we have seen up to this. So all of you will by heart these all properties, because that is very important topic. Okay, in the next session we will see the surface tension and capillarity, right? Okay, thank you.